Brilliant. Okay. Yep. So it's just a quick introduction to Seven or Seven Resourcing, and it's just to give you a bit of information about what our company is all about, what we've got to offer, and just kind of give you a bit of an idea of our culture at Seven Resourcing anyway. So I've got some slides here, so I won't bore you too long with slides, but it's just to give you a bit of an indication of what we've got to offer and something to go back to. So who are Seven? So Seven basically are a recruitment service. We look after recruiting people into the health and social care sectors. So we're predominantly looking after sort of several sectors really here at Adastral Park. We look after veterinary or health, animal health, life sciences, dentistry, we have education. And on top of that, our two largest areas are the nursing sector and also the health and social care sector. So actually, from our perspective, we are kind of one of the fastest growing specialist recruitment agencies in the UK. And actually, we're quite proud of that fact in Ipswich. So a bit about our mission and values. So our mission and values here at Seven are really important to us. And actually, it's all about building a better recruitment service. And with that, what we mean by that is that we like people that come and work for us, who help us supply our services, are all about building that better recruitment service through customer service and kind of building loyalty and trust with our candidates, really. So we do have a series of values to help with that, and we call it pie because everybody likes a little bit of pie, to be honest. So and what we've got with pie is that we have people, innovation, integrity and excellence. So when it's about people, both inside and outside the organization, we like to ensure that we're kind of showing good communication, active listening, encouraging growth and development. And it's all about sharing knowledge through coaching and training here as well. We have a really good kind of coaching and mentoring scheme, and we have a great training system or graduate program that we're looking to initiate. Obviously, innovation, we want all of our staff to be innovative. We want them to kind of be creative and invest in their own knowledge and invest in their own futures. And with that, there comes integrity as well. So we want people to be honest, have good ethics and fairness, and strive to conduct kind of good business ethics, really, to the high standards of professionalism. Last of all, we have excellence as well. You know, excellence is a big thing to us because we're all about awards. We're all about kind of making sure that we're showing people what we're made of here at Seven. So customer service and getting to know people is really important, looking at both clients and candidates. You know, and actually our employees here are encouraged to get to know people and build kind of strong, lasting relationships, again, inside and outside the business as well. So there's a little bit of information about us as an organisation and our values there. So our MD is Richard. So Richard Cook started Seven just coming up for 11 years ago now. Previous to that, he worked in the recruitment industry for 12 years. And actually, Richard's very keen on making sure that we're one of those recruitment agencies that's not out there just about margins. We're there about client satisfaction, and we're there about making sure that people are getting the right kind of service as well. So he's very much a big believer in that, and hence why we've grown so very quickly sort of over the last few years, really. So a little bit about our culture and environment. So Seven actually is probably one of the most diverse companies I've ever worked for. We have a great kind of culture here. And I've got a little bit of a video that I thought you might like to see. So I'm just going to pop that in. It's only a couple of minutes long, but I thought it's great hearing from me, but you might want to hear from some of our own staff as well. So I'm just going to play that now for you.
Seven Resourcing is the best recruitment agency in East Anglia, I suppose, is the easiest way to say it.
Seven's office genuinely is the best office I've ever been in.
One of those places where getting up in the morning isn't a chore, so coming in is exciting. You look forward to coming in and seeing the people that you work with.
As soon as I stepped in, I just fell in love with it.
We've got a lot of things going on in the office. The office is a vibrant place. The pool tournaments and stuff that people are putting on at the minute is good.
The relationships between all of us at Seven, we're like one big family. We all kind of get on really well.
I know that I've got the support from everyone. I love coming into work. I love getting on with my job. I love doing what I do.
We're never standing still at Seven. We started 10 years ago in an office with 4 desks. We're now in an office with 100 desks. What does the next 10 years look like? We're going to go from dozens of consultants to hundreds of consultants.
I would say they're the biggest characteristics and attributes that we look for. Not giving up, resilience, and being personable and just being yourself.
If I could describe working at Seven in 2 words, I'd use fun and rewarding.
Crazy and fun.
Lively and energetic.
Brilliant.
Life-changing. From the bottom of my heart, it's changed my life completely.
So working at Seven isn't just a different job, it's a different life. If you're looking for a new challenge, if you're looking to grow your earnings, if you're looking to work for the best sales team in East Anglia, apply today. Because in life, the things that you regret are the things you don't do.
So hopefully you can kind of see that, you know, the company itself is very diverse. So a couple of things that would I'd like to share with you. So when you walk into the office, you've got music playing all the time throughout the day. We have different playlists, so you can actually request what kind of music you want on. We do have quiet spaces. I'm in one of the quiet spaces at the moment. So if you want to get away from the kind of the hustle and bustle out in the office, you do have some nice quiet space that you can come into. Again, we've got some really good facilities here at BT Industrial Park as well. So it's about kind of introducing you to that and kind of getting you to realise that, which I'll talk through in a second. But here are some quotes that some of our staff have said. So these are a lot of our apprentices and one of our recruitment consultants as well. So Alex is an IT apprentice, and obviously he said it's a friendly, welcoming and fun place to work. And then we've also got Maya, who's a recruitment consultant, recently started and is part of my coaching academy. And obviously she's written there, I have the freedom to work independently and I'm in charge of my own income, which is rewarding. So there's some really good elements here at Seven that helps you kind of control your future, really. Now, a bit about our sectors. I mentioned these before, but our sectors predominantly are broken down into these areas. So we have animal health, social care, nursing, healthcare, life sciences, dentistry, education and criminal justice. And actually, from our perspective over the last few years, these have really, really grown. So with animal health, we have a location, we have an office on the Gold Coast and also in Miami. And with life sciences, a little bit closer to home, we have a life sciences office based in Colchester, whereas social care, nursing, healthcare, dentistry and education and criminal justice are all based here at Industrial Park in Ipswich. So a little bit about what you can expect if you were to join us here at Seven. So with the recruitment consultancy, it's basically being a master in the art of negotiation. It's your responsibility to kind of find amazing roles for talented professionals. And what we ask you to do is provide the best possible talent to your clients and offer a service that's underpinned by honesty, integrity, and a good attention to detail. So with the recruitment consultants, they currently start at 18,533 per annum. And obviously you earn your commission on top of that. There is a really good bonus system here, which I'll show you in just a second. And if you're not too interested in the consultant side, we do have a sales support role as well. And the sales support roles are split into 3 areas, really. We have candidate generation, we have our payroll team, and we also have a compliance team. And that's where predominantly a lot of our apprentices or graduate apprentices kind of start. And that just purely is because it gives you a really good understanding of how the business works and helps you kind of get into the business a little bit more, really. So they start from around about 9,100 up to 11,400 per annum. And actually the apprenticeships are there for anyone hoping to take their first step into kind of the wonderful world of business, really. If you're looking for kind of a nice, vibrant office experience, then this is a really good place for you to kind of start that career, really. And like I said, we have really good training and we have really good kind of coaching and mentoring here to help you through that apprenticeship. So a little bit about Industrial Park. So what we have here at Industrial Park is we have an area called the Hub. So the Hub includes a restaurant, which is on site, a coffee shop, a waffle and ice cream parlour. It has its own hairdressers and barbers, and it has its own WH Smith's, postbox and cash point. So the Hub really is the hub. It's kind of where you would go to kind of grab a cup of coffee. If you want to break with your friends, you can kind of mosey on over there. It's about 2 to 3 minute walk away from the office, really. It's not too far at all. There are nature trail walks as well. So for those of you that are kind of into their fitness, I go out on my lunch breaks and have a run. It's just a really nice kind of trails around here where you can go out. Again, there are sports facilities as well. So there's an on-site gym. There are tennis courts. There's lots of kind of table tennis, there's a basketball pitch, there's lots of different things that are here. So from a sports perspective, you're kind of well looked after there. And obviously locally here at Martlesham, you've got kind of Aldi and Greggs outside of Industrial Park. You've got kind of Tesco's, that kind of stuff too. So Industrial Park is although you might think it's out in the middle of nowhere, there's actually quite a lot of stuff here to kind of keep you occupied on those breaks. So a little bit about COVID-19, because obviously every organisation, every business and every kind of person throughout the world has been affected by COVID-19. So initially when COVID did come about, we did shut the office and we had quite a lot of people working from home. And we do from time to time have people working from home depending on their personal circumstances. But majoritively, most of the office have been in. So most of the people have been in the office now for a good period of time. And that's because we've put in some really strong measures. So we have kind of people working in safe bubbles. Even now, they're still working in safe bubbles. And we have hand sanitizer around the building. BT actually have their own kind of COVID-19 monitors as well. So they actually come and check to make sure that we are following the BT guidelines on Industrial Park. And actually, we've now fitted kitchens at the end of each desk as well. So people kind of are limited on the amount of walking around and stuff that they have to do if they want to grab a cup of coffee or something. And that's purely there just to keep people safe. And we're kind of umming and ahhing whether we're going to keep those or we're going to move back to a kind of a main kitchen area at the moment. So a little bit about the rewards. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about these, but it's just to give you a bit of an understanding of what we can offer if you were to join here at Seven. Now the rewards are quite outstanding, to be honest. So we have 7 tiers, perks, and job titles. So if you were to go into a recruitment consultancy role, here is some of the information that you'd be kind of privy to. It looks like huge amounts of money, but when you're in recruitment, actually the amount of money that you make turns around quite quickly. So you're able to kind of build up your clientele quite quickly. We also have what we know as our super biller tiers and perks as well. So this is where people have been with the company for kind of 5 to 10 years, and they're actually making really high amounts of money here at this point as a recruitment consultant. It might be somewhere, it might be quite far away for you when you first start, but it's something if you work hard, you can work towards quite quickly. And also, as part of the sales support team, we also offer kind of these kind of tiered approaches as well. So obviously your holiday entitlement goes up after sort of 2 years service. You get desk upgrades, you get kind of nice gift boxes as well, which is great. So there's lots and lots of perks even for our support and staff here too. So that's kind of it, really. I hope that's given you a bit of an idea about what we actually offer here at Seven. And over to you again, Ruth.
Daniel, that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was so interesting to hear all about your organisation. I don't know if you've got a chance to get your camera back on if you can, but I was just going to say, I was really interested to hear one of your colleagues talking about, I love your amazing background, by the way. There's actually a real place that is part of your organisation. It just looks that cool. I was really interested to hear somebody talking about the kind of characteristics that it takes to be successful working at Seven. I just wondered, what do you think they're sort of transferable? What do you think are the 3 most essential characteristics for being successful in that fast-paced recruitment environment generally?
Yeah, generally, I think actually, if you're going to go into recruitment consultancy, it is very fast paced, and it's about you being very resilient. It's about having that kind of can-do attitude. And it's also about kind of making sure that you've kind of had that fairness about you as well, because sometimes things don't go according to plan, and it's about you kind of being able to come over, come against that and actually deal with that. So I guess problem solving would probably be quite a good one to have as well as an attribute.
Oh, that's really helpful. I think that's really interesting to hear. And I sort of wondered, sort of thinking about the kind of 2 different roles that you talked about in particular, like that sort of the initial entry point, the sales support role. Could you talk us through like a typical day in the life of somebody working in a sales support role, so people listening could kind of imagine themselves what that might look like for them?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so all of our sales support roles start they start at 9 till 5, so it's a 9 till 5 role. And basically you would come in, so if you're in the candidate generation team, for example, you would come in, you would actually have your own desk. Obviously, you'd have access to our bullhorn system. And what that would mean is that you'd be able to add, so that the idea behind candidate generation is to generate candidates. So you would actually search quite a lot of the job boards, you would actually find CVs that are applicable, and then you would add them onto our internal database, which is our Bullhorn system. If you were looking for something specific, so sometimes the consultants will come over to you in candidate generation and say, I need a particular kind of healthcare assistant in, you know, Scotland, for example. I haven't got anyone on my list. Can you help me find someone? So it'll be your job to kind of help them find that right person. So there is quite a lot of, you know, there's quite a lot of kind of detail and responsibility that comes with the role as well. But actually, that's what makes it quite interesting and quite challenging as well, I think. So that's the candidate generation. With compliance, it's a little bit further down the line. So candidate generation is probably the first port of call. With compliance, it's kind of more kind of mid-term. It's kind of mid-term, the process of recruiting, if you like.
Yeah.
So with compliance, it's all about making sure that the candidates that we have selected and we've put forward and have been successful are fully compliant to do their job.
Okay.
So if it's nursing, for example, it could be things like making sure that they have the right kind of database or DBS checks. It could be making sure that they have the right kind of qualifications to go into that nursing field. So actually the role in compliance is kind of a lot more kind of in depth. And again, there's detail in its own right there. And actually with that, you get to learn all about kind of the different kind of right to work in the UK kind of legislation and stuff as well. So
they're very useful as well for people who kind of wanted to grow into an HR type role as well, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. I have actually my HR officer has actually recently moved from compliance as an apprentice into a full-time role as a HR officer. So, and she's found it really, really useful because actually she knows all the HR stuff. So
yeah, I can see that's like got a really strong grounding in that. And with the sort of candidate generation role, would you spend time, so you might be searching for CVs, looking at the things online with job boards, would you be speaking to people on the phone, sending emails and things as well?
Absolutely. It's all about communication here and making sure that the initial communication is, you know, is first point of call really. So yeah, there will be quite a few phone calls, and there'll be like emails going out to people. We have quite a lot of people that come to us looking for work as well. So it's about kind of answering those particular emails that are coming in and kind of speaking to people over the phone about any roles that are available on our website. So
that sounds like a really varied day.
Yeah, it's really, really varied. Yes, there's so much that can happen kind of throughout a day. Obviously, you know, the job, you know, any job comes with its difficulties as well. You know, sometimes you have to handle those difficult people that come through. But luckily for candidate generation, I mean, all the departments that we have here, we've got a really strong management team. So if it's something that the person's not feeling very confident with, then the manager's usually quite happy to take over on that. So that's good.
Oh, that is brilliant. And thinking about sort of, you know, your recruitment process yourself into your organisation, what sort of things do you look for on people's applications?
Okay, that's a good question. So I guess what we're looking for really is just that people are generally can be quite friendly.
Yeah.
Like I said, have a real good can-do attitude. You know, we like people to come in and realise that the company that they're working for can really kind of give them a good grounding into a strong career.
Yeah.
So we want to see people that can really apply themselves, that have shown that they can kind of, you know, hold to a task and actually finish that task from the very start to the end. So I guess they're kind of some of the characteristics that we would look for in our kind of people coming into the organisation anyway.
So would that be sort of more into your application? Would you be looking for people to sort of put things like, because I think if you've got people coming straight from school, if you have people coming from, would you be looking for them to sort of tell you about times when they've done things as part of a team? And
Absolutely, yeah. We're just about to start a new recruitment process as well, which is going to incorporate people obviously applying for a role. We want people to come in and do some group interviews and stuff with us. So
brilliant.
Coming in and getting to know them as individuals and for them to show us what they can do and you know why it's so important to them to want to work here. So we're going to begin starting those over the next few months.
That sounds fantastic. And I think you just touched on something there that I think is a really important point, isn't it? Is that if you want to work somewhere, make sure you know about the company when you
Oh,
go for an
absolutely.
interview.
Yes.
So that
That's
really
the first
comes
one
across.
of the questions we do ask is like, what do you know about Seven? So so it's important that they kind of give us some information and they've done a little bit of research.
Oh yeah. Oh, that sounds brilliant. And are there sort of, do you think that there's anything in particular, there are sort of any good transferable skills that people might have got from school or from initial jobs before coming to you?
Yeah, I mean, what we have found with a lot of our kind of younger people that come in is that initially they're all very quite shy. So we've found
All right.
that they come in and they're quite shy because obviously you're going into the big world of work, and actually it's very different to school. So what we try to do is to make sure that they feel encouraged and confident. I guess transferable skills, I guess, would be, you know, if people have already got that natural confidence, and that's going to put them in a good stead already. Um, I guess like just kind of good language skills,
Yeah.
English and maths are really important anyway, but kind of English in this role is very important. We're dealing with kind of lots of kind of strong professionals out there, nurses, nurses that have studied nursing for 5 years, got their degree,
Yeah.
and now we've got, and so we've got different variations of people that are communicating with them. So that's quite a strong thing.
Oh,
And
that's
also,
really
and
useful.
sort of with our payroll team, like maths is really important because there's lots of working out time sheets and kind of putting that kind of the right kind of money through as well. So I guess those maths and English elements are quite important. It sounds really daft as an adult, 45-year-old adult saying that, but actually you never realize that when you're at school how important maths and English is until you're out there. So
That is so helpful. Thank you. Just to end, we sort of have asked everybody this that we've interviewed so far. If you were able to go back and have a conversation with your younger self, starting off on your career journey, what piece of advice would you give yourself?
probably listen to my dad, actually. my dad, I remember having a very strong conversation. I went to university and did a degree, and I did it in music and English. And my dad told me at the time, he said, music and English isn't the way to go. You need to go into IT, is what he told me. And I completely ignored him and did what I wanted to do. I'm quite happy with that. That's fine. I'm happy with my decisions because I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing now. But actually, probably listen to my dad. On a more kind of a realistic note, I'd probably tell myself to kind of carry on and not give up too easily, I think.
Yeah.
I think when you're younger, it's quite easy just to kind of, when things get a little bit difficult, it's quite easy just to give up, isn't it? Whereas actually, I think perseverance is very much the key, because if you want to get somewhere, you have to persevere with it. So
Daniel, that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for your time. It's been fascinating hearing all about Seven and lovely to meet you too. So I'm going to stop the recording and thank you again.